We're live from Toronto. It's game 6 of the World Series. Yeah, right. It's game 6 of the ALCS. It's those pesky Toronto Blue Jays against the pesky Seattle Mariners. A Blue Jays win forces something that Blue Jay fans think they have never had before, but they've actually did, at least once, was a game 7. Whereas the Mariners, a win gets them the trip to Los Angeles for the World Series, which starts on Friday. So the Dodgers have won more games than the Mariners. They swept Milwaukee on Friday with Ohtani-san's 3 home run, 10 strikeout day. It's like, Jesus Murphy. But anyhow, the Blue Jays are needing this win to force a game 7. The question on everyone's list will be what the Blue Jays plan to do. Is it Bieber or Scherzer for game 7? Because you already used Gosman twice. And Yesevich is on the bump for game 6. The rookie phenom who took the Yankees flat-footed and did decently, but then gave up a few bad apple shots in game 2. Blue Jays are trying to get to game 7, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, that's never happened before. Actually, it has happened before, but you're probably too young for it. Well, obviously, I'm too young for it. In 1985, in the first ever LCS to go to a best of 7 format, it was a best of 5 format from 69 to 84. The Blue Jays were up 3-1, choked it to the Royals, and then had to play game 7, but that was a bad news situation as the Blue Jays would lose game 7. Dave Steve pitched his heart out, but Jim Sundberg's bases clearing triple off the top of the fence in right field did it, and Jim Sundberg is not really much of a hitter. So anyway, the Blue Jays are wearing white today. They are actually wearing a different color shirt. Usually they're ditching their blues. And the Mariners are trying to win a series in Toronto for the second time. 2022 wild card, they did it. They have J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez playing center, Cal Raleigh, North Carolina catching, Jorge Polanco, DHing and batting third, Josh Naylor, Big Maple at first, Arenzarena, the former Tampa player of the 2020 World Series, at batting 5th in left field. Genie Suarez, third base. He was the hero of game 6. J.P. Crawford, batting 7th. He's playing short. Dominic Calzone, playing right field, batting 8th. And Leo Rivas will bat 9th and play second base. And Yesevich, the guy who was in single-A ball to start 2025 and has moved all the way up into the major leagues for baseball. He had 3 starts, and everyone in Blue Jay land was probably worried. But yeah, so instead of wearing a Blue Jays jersey, I decided to throw the Blue Jay sweater out. I don't know how I got this Blue Jay sweater, like a sweater, but with temperatures being colder coming up, it's supposed to be 13 Celsius in Kitchener tomorrow, and that's the high. So we're back to weather-related stuff. Just to let you guys know that a lot of things are happening, and I am fighting a bit of bruising in here. Like, I feel when I swallow, it bruises. Might be a larynx thing, it might be just the voice, it might be something else, but I'll probably put some vapor rub on it tomorrow before work and all that. So anyway, no score. So the first batter is Julio Rodriguez, a pretty good center fielder, if I do say so myself. And the first pitch, he swings it to center. Partial gets that catch. And the first pitch, 1 out. I thought I had a limitation or something. What's going on here? Details. Captain's recording. Customization. So 15 seconds minimum subscription time. That's weird. It doesn't give me that thing, but it doesn't matter anyway. So hopefully my Blue Jay fans are going to be popping up somewhere, or my baseball brethren who have been. Good evening, Jeff. Hope you go back to work on Tuesday. Hey, Clee baseball fan, good to see you. Of course, RJL Network will have a game on right now, so I know you'll be probably lurking, but that's okay. Ball 1 to Cal Raleigh, who's been basically the main reason why the Mariners have been putting up 3 wins against the Blue Jays and all that. I know Genie Suarez did well in Game 5, but Raleigh's been basically from Game 1 onwards. Elbow the first. Nope, it's a foul. Ooh, I thought that was fair. Glad he would have gotten out. It would have been a 3-1. Hope you had a productive day. 9-3 pick'em. So a 9-3 pick'em week so far because I do NFL pick'em with. I'm on a team with my buddy Bill Lang, and I started off 5-3. I swept the 4 late afternoon games. Tried to get him to swing, but nope, ball 2, so 2-2. So yeah, NFL craziness, especially the Giants Broncos, because the Giants were up by 18 with 5 minutes left. I basically thought, oh crap, the Giants are going to beat the Broncos, but somehow, in some way, miraculously, the Broncos not only erased that 18-point deficit, they had the lead, they took the lead, and then the Giants, boy, Yosevich, what a savage! That's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Cal Raleigh's been our biggest nemesis so far. A lot of people said we're too polite to him and should be intentionally walking him. I say niet. Because, the whole John Schneider, our manager's problems with Brandon Little, that has to be it. Because everyone said Brandon Little had terrible stats and all that. It should have been Uriel Rodriguez. Polanco, swing and a miss on that one, strike 1. So Polanco, he's been doing decently. 5 RBIs in this round. Yeah, Raleigh having a couple of home runs against the Blue Jays this round. Trying to get him to chase, but that's way outside ball 1. So yeah, let me just snag my Avalon Sports thing and my pick'em. Thursday, Cincy v. Pitt. Of course, I picked Pittsburgh. Of course, I didn't think Flacco was going to lose the game. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, wow, it died at the track. I thought for sure that he had just hit a home run. But nope, he did not. So anyway, fantastic. Yeah, I got to check my stuff and all that. Yeah, I know RGL is doing Yankees Rangers for Inside Pitch. I have to keep my eyes open on that. So, yeah, why did I have 5 points? Videos filled about the game and all that. I gotta watch that. A young Otani against the MLB All-Stars. I want to watch that because, you don't see those Japan versus MLB All-Star games anytime soon. The Giants look like they're trying to get their new manager from college ball, the baseball champion from the Fulls, Tony Vitello. That's unusual. Like samurai honor codes, blood feuds, and all that. So, yeah, a lot of things happening for a reason. Okay, so wow, Texas already putting up a number 3-0. So anyway, the Mariners organization also has had some massive news because there's been a couple of sports deaths today. The first one, Jesus Montero, who played 4 years for the Mariners and then basically bottomed out by 2015. He's now deceased. He died in a car accident today. And just an hour ago, I've learned that Doug Martin, former Boise State running back, one of the best running backs of all time, other than Ian Johnson or Ashton Gentry for Boise State, has passed away. He played for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Unfortunately, because of me having to worry about my other stuff, a few other things, I didn't do a Doug Martin tribute game. I will do a Doug Martin tribute game tomorrow because, this game will probably be over by 11, and I do have to work early. So anyway, Georgie Boy Springer DHing and leading off. His knee is okay. Nathan's Hot Dogs Lucas playing left. Flatty Jr. at first. Alejandro catching. Dalton Farshall through the snow in center. Ernie McDarling Clement tying at third. Addie Barger playing right. The Honey Barger. IKF playing second. And yet the Jimenez at short. Springer had that scary injury when he fouled the ball off his knee. Well, sorry, he was hit on the knee and basically had to come out of the game. Pitch was away from him. Seattle wearing their emerald green jerseys. The Blue Jays just wearing white, which is unusual. They were wearing their powder blues for quite a while. But we'll see what happens. Swing and a miss. Santander. Yup. Yeah. Cleveland baseball fan said Santander got replaced on the postseason roster as soon as he can't come back. Well, I figured he wasn't going to come back. Pitch on the way. And that will be a foul. One ball, 2 strikes. George Springer has 8 extra base hits. That's tied in the most in the MLB. I have a funny feeling Ohtani-san is number 1. I mean, Ohtani's been on freaking fire. You know, last year he was just basically the DH and not really pitching. Now that he's pitching, he's pitched a couple of key situational games pretty well. I mean, the guy is basically a one-man show. If you take down Ohtani, you take down the team. But then again, you got Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and a few other moving parts that, you know, can still do it. So what can you expect? Springer to right field, foul. Of course, everyone will be watching, thinking, well, no graphics on screen. Well, I don't have really the budget for like graphics on the screen. And also the fact is I can't really have the game audio in the background because YouTube and Major League Baseball will be peeved and give me trouble. Oh, nope. Just a little low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So, yeah. So, before I interrupted myself, since he being Pittsburgh, Rams going to Jacksonville and beating the tar out of Jacksonville. I picked Jacksonville because I'm like, well, Jacksonville always plays in London, so they have some kind of advantage. Well, how wrong I was. Matthew Stafford was just on fuego. Bears beat the Saints. Well, you know, that was to be expected. Cleveland beating Miami in the partial toilet bowl. I mean, Cleveland. I mean, I'm surprised how much Miami sucks now. I mean, Tua has really been downtrodden. We are almost ready for week 14 to see Dolphins Jets part 2 in what could be the toilet bowl part 2. So anyway, here's Springer, the payoff from Gilbert. He takes a swing and that looks foul to me. It is foul to me over the screen. So Gilbert's they're forcing Gilbert to pitch. New England beat Tennessee. That was kind of expected. You know, my Pats are 5-2. The best the Pats have done in the first 7 games since before COVID. 2019 was the last time the Pats won 5 games in the first 7 before COVID hit. So basically, you know, COVID has ruined the Patriots as much. You know, cheering for the Patriots has not been the best thing in the world. Springer, broken bat. Oh, boy. The end of his bat almost rolled towards Suarez while he was trying to catch the foul ball. So he sawed him off. But it took 9 pitches to get rid of Springer. So that actually works out in a sense. Good swing. Yep, that was off the label. That was not off the barrel. And look. Wow, that bat dangerously got close to Suarez, but fortunately it bounced away. Kansas City shut out Las Vegas. I mean, a win's a win, but the Raiders couldn't score one rinky-dinky field goal. Philly went into Minnesota and beat them. It was a close game. Minnesota made it close. So I found out that Carson Wentz is the new Minnesota quarterback because J.J. McCarthy just freaking injured himself again. Dude's been snake bit. I mean, Minnesota put him as a top 10 pick, and all of a freaking sudden, you know, J.J. McCarthy lost the first year of his career because of an injury. And I believe in the NFL that if you're out for the first year, you're ineligible to be a rookie in your second year. Like all that. I don't think it's like hockey. Hockey, to be a rookie, you have to play 25 or fewer games. New York. Hey man, what's up? World's Worst Skater has joined me. Subscribe to his wonderful channel and also Cleat Baseball Fans channel and all that. So Lucas dumps a single, and I don't think Lucas should be running the second. He won't because they're cutting off. So yeah, I'm just going through the NFL stuff and all that. World's Worst Gamer. I talked about Bengals winning yesterday. On Thursday. Rams going to London and beating Jacksonville. Chicago beating New Orleans. Cleveland winning the toilet bowl against Miami. New England beating Tennessee. KC shutting out LV. Philly in Minnesota, a tough one with Carson Wentz now, the starting quarterback from Minnesota. And now we got Carolina versus the Jets. And so Carolina beat the Jets. The Jets only scored 6 points. Actually, they said that the Jets are the first team in NFL history to actually allow 13 points or less in back-to-back games and lose them both. That's how shitty the Jets are. That is one hell of a stat and all that. Yeah. So, yeah, I got to get into that. Game and all that. Yeah. The Giants had a chance to win. That's right. The Giant Chopper. Yeah. He stepped on second for the out. He let the ball play to him. Guerrero is saying crap. But at least he got on base. Rivas could have thrown him out for a double play. So, yeah, the Cleveland Browns scored more than 17 points in a game. As I said, Miami really sucks with Tua now. Man, Tua was supposed to be this good quarterback from the University of Bama to help Miami out, and he's floundered. Carolina beat the Jets, and the Jets have, as I said, 13 points in back-to-back games they've given up, which isn't half bad. Closed. I think it's closed. Yeah, World's Worst Gamer. The dome is closed because if it was open, I would they are giving some shots and it looks a little dark. So I'm like, I think we do see the roof, iron bars or whatever you want to call it, the scaffolding. So obviously that means it is closed. I think, because it was raining all day in Toronto, so obviously it has to be closed because I don't know if it's raining still in Toronto, but yeah, we've had some rain. We had rain in Kitchener-Waterloo, which was like off and on. Kirk to right field, down the line. And foul. Oh my gosh, foul. Yeah. Those stupid renovations, when you're trying to look at the ball down the right field line and all that, like you try to follow down the right field line and the ball's lost. Nope, that's foul. That is foul by a few feet. Yep, that's foul. That was just foul. Yeah, that was foul. Yeah, it's like, well, if you're looking at the ball down the right field line on the TV, it's like, where's the ball? Where's the ball? Is it fair? No, it's foul. Yeah, they put the stupid bleachers too close to the foul line in a sense because when you're looking down the line, trying to find where the ball is, it turns into a foul. So, yeah, 13 points. Yeah, most teams, like the Pats gave up 13 points and won. The Jets give up 13 points but lose. Indy Chargers. Indy beating up on the Chargers wearing those kind of weird mustard jerseys, if you will. Kirk, swing and a miss. I kind of had a hunch that was going to happen, but that's okay. Yep, RGL. Pudge Rodriguez with a 3-run home run in that one, 6-2. If Texas wins, then Texas will force a game 6 in that series, obviously. So, yeah. So yeah, got a lot of things going for us. Yeah, Indy beat the Chargers with those jerseys that look like mustard to me. Dallas beating Washington. Jaden Daniels injured his knee. There's no thought of how long Jaden will be out for, and they have a very tough schedule. They have to play Kansas City Monday Night Football next week. Then they host Seattle, which is not an easy out, if you will. They have to host Detroit then the next week, which isn't easy. And then they have to head to Spain to face Miami. They'll definitely beat Miami, Madrid. But how long? Yeah. Oh, yeah, for me. Well, Jaguars had a chance. Well, I thought Jaguars had a chance. That was one of my boo-boos. I boo-booed on Pittsburgh against Cincy, Jacksonville versus Rams, and Miami versus Cleveland. Other than that, I've been flawless. Yeah, Green Bay nipped Arizona at the butt end, so thankfully for that. And of course, my Colts won the usual, having a great season. So yeah, the Colts, like they're 6-1. They're like 6-1. I mean, like, who would have thought the Colts would be 6-1? Have they ever been 6-1 after Peyton Manning? Maybe Joe Flacco helped them to get 6-1. I can't remember. Oh no, Andrew Luck definitely would have it. I think Andrew Luck have a 6-1 start with the Colts at one time or not? Because I was about to say, well, the Colts have not really had a good quarterback. Could we have Colts Chiefs in the AFC title game? We could. Yeah, like. Yeah, 6-1 with a secondary that's injury riddled. But you know what? Sometimes, you got to be lucky than good. More lucky than good. But the big story was the Giants against the Broncos. I knew the Broncos were down by 18 with like 5 minutes left, and I wrote them off. But then they scored 3 straight touchdowns. Giants scored to take the lead, and then apparently they missed it point after or something like that. And the Broncos had a walk-off field goal, whereas if it wasn't for the missed point after, that would have sent the game to overtime, and who knows, maybe the Giants would have won. Yeah, Colts and Chiefs, if they made it to the playoffs, that's an epic. 2003 was the first ever game. I don't know if it's still the only game in NFL history that the game between the Colts and Chiefs that no punts were in a postseason game. No punts whatsoever. They didn't need Hunter Smith or that other Kansas City punter. I don't know who Kansas City's punter was that game. But 95, that's when the Colts faced the Chiefs, and Kerry Blanchard made those field goals, and the Colts shocked the Chiefs to get to the AFC title game against the Steelers in the first place. Swing and a miss, sayonara. Can't stand the Steelers. Don't want to face the Steelers either. Well, the Steelers are human after all. They lost to Joe fucking Flacco. But yeah, so yeah, the Broncos, that game was just epic. El Epico. I think it's the most epic game I've ever seen. I couldn't even watch the game because, my TV package didn't have Giants Broncos. I could get Colts Chargers on TSN and the Redskins. Yeah, I shouldn't have said Redskins, but, Washington Dallas on CTV. Yeah. Had that one big game. Zach Crockett. I think it was the wildcard game. Yeah, I think it was the wildcard game. I don't remember Zach Crockett putting up numbers against the Chiefs or the Steelers in the playoffs. But yeah, that was a critical game. I mean, Jim Harbaugh, who was coaching for the Chargers today, it was weird seeing him coach against the team which he had one of the best playoff runs by a non-Super Bowl team ever. Nobody expected the Colts to win their wildcard game or their he swung that one. The wildcard game or the division round game in Kansas City. And then in Pittsburgh, if Aaron Bailey had managed to keep the ball in his lap, we would have seen Colts Cowboys for the Super Bowl 30. Oh, no. Okay, foul. Back to baseball. Sorry for turning this into something else. Well, I kind of take fault. But yeah, so yeah, Niners play Atlanta today at home, and then tomorrow it's the Bucks and Lions and Texans Seahawks. So yeah, we'll get back to baseball and all that. So yeah, swung and a miss, strike three. Resurrena had a good play, but swing and a miss. Of course, everyone's going to want to know who are the Blue Jays. Are the Blue Jays going to go with a straight rotation for Game 7 if need be with Shane Bieber? Bieber and Scherzer both did pretty well pitching in Seattle, getting the wins. And subsequently, who will Seattle use? Will they use Castillo for Game 7? Although he started in Game 4. Here's Suarez. Suarez has been a thorn in Toronto's side, especially last game on Friday. Forget the grand slam against Toronto in the 8th. He did hit a massive home run earlier in that game. So I think for sure that he's hard pressed. I mean, he was a good swinger for the Reds when the Reds had him. He's got a strike. Ideally, you would like this game not to be a 15-inning slug using many pitchers. Well, possibly, yeah. And all that. You want Game 7 to be that way because, you'll have a couple of rest days. Because the World Series starts Friday no matter what. If the Blue Jays pull one out of the hat and win both games at home, then that means that the Blue Jays get home field for the World Series starting on Friday. If the Mariners win any of the next 2 days, Suarez foul. You can see that ball in the stands. Yeah, if the Mariners win either tonight or tomorrow, they have to go to LA because LA has more wins. And that's the way they set up the World Series. No alternating years for home field advantage and no All-Star game meaning something and all that. Oh, he just caught the zone. Suarez is fuming. Just caught the zone. 4 Ks for Yesevich. So now the Blue Jays have to play for him and all that. So no score through 1.5 innings. He is proving why he's a pretty good pitcher. And hopefully a star for years to come with the Blue Jays. Because you know how bad luck happened. Like Alec Manoah was a big time prospect and all that. And then all of a sudden he fell flat and the Jays released him and the Braves picked him up. I mean, I'll be upfront with you. Alec Manoah had a terrible 2024 season. But in my mind, I can pinpoint it. Because in 2023, when I watched the Blue Jays take on the Angels from the 500 level, mind you, that was the game in which Manoah was on the bump and hit Anthony Rendon, and the Rogers Center fell silent with that hit by pitch, and Manoah basically had to come out of the game. 4 Ks already for E. Savage. I think he had 5 or 6 in Game 1 against the Yankees. Game 2 against the Yankees. So Texas looking pretty good, up 7-3 in the RGL game in the 4th inning and all that. So, yeah. I really want to see the Ohtani thing and all that. Japan versus MLB All-Stars. Yeah, Ohtani-san. Yeah, MLB fall doing Ohtani at 20 years old pitching against the MLB All-Stars when Japan and Major League Baseball meet like every other year for an All-Star competition in Japan. It's actually quite fun and all that. I wish they had the old ones on YouTube and all that. It would be neat to see MLB versus Japan like before the 2010s. World Baseball Classic comes next March. I can't wait for that, in all honesty, because I mean, I want to see the Blue Jay. I want to see how good Canada can get, but Canada's kind of in a group of death with like Puerto Rico and all that. They're in Puerto Rico. They've got some bad teams like Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, and someone else I can't remember. But yeah, Canada's in against it. And Canada is the only team to be in every World Baseball Classic, but has never gone past the group stage. Never, not even once. So that just ticks me off. We got some good Canadian baseball, So, but the rest of the nations are huge. Like, you've got the Caribbean nations that basically baseball is life. I mean, they don't really, well, other than soccer, well, slash football, of course. But yeah. But yeah. So Logan Gilbert back on the bump for the M's. Varsho is the first man up for the Blue Jays. And that's a strike. Varsho has been pathetic in the LCS. 2 for 20. He does have 3 RBIs, though, which is decent. He's got some RBIs at least, but he's 2 for 20. Varsho, well, single. Oh, J-Rod, did he bobble? Varsho for second. Safe. I think if J-Rod didn't hustle to that ball, he would have cut it off for a single. It is definitely a single and an E8 on that one because Varsho would have stopped at first and then J-Rod would not have bobbled it. Well, Varsho making me shut up. Yep, a single. Yeah, and J-Rod went for the ball and went off his glove. It hit the heel of the glove. Yep. Like if he had played that normally, that's a single. I don't know, but he's a pretty good center fielder too. There's Clement taking for a strike. Sometimes you have to take a pitch to see what you do. Clement 6 for 21 with 2 RBIs. Yeah, he's having a decent ALCS, I think. Anything above 250 is pretty good. Yeah, runners in scoring position at 235. Down the third. Oh, Suarez bobbled it. Suarez, it fell out of his glove. That's an E5. That's a awkward error on Suarez because he definitely had the out because there was no way Varsho was going to go to third because I was about to say, well, that's the wrong side of the infield. Watch this. Watch Suarez. Nope. He didn't have it cleanly, and it fell out of his glove. And by the time he realized it, Clement beat the throw. Yep, see? I think if he had a little more decency, I think he would have gotten it. So yeah, it's an E5, so 2 errors. First and second. Barger, I don't think this will. Well, let's see what Barger does. I don't know if he'll bunt, though, too. He is batting 176. He does have a single, a double, and a home run in this series. So, yeah, 3 different ways of getting hits, a single, a double, and a homer. And he flails at that one. I don't know why he flailed that one. That did not look right to me. 0-2. Yeah, he wasn't going to bunt. For sure. Obviously, if you bunt and you bunt foul, that's strike 3. Whereas because shifts can no longer be used. Players further out of position to make plays. Are shifts illegal? I thought there was a rule that you could have 1 shift per inning or something like that. But it's not. Huh. But anyway, yeah, Addie Barger at the plate. Chopper, foul. All right, that's okay. Yeah, I'm like, I thought shifts were still there, but like a 1 per inning rule or some. I thought, or they had the rule you could have shifts, but each player had to have a foot in the infield. No, you have to be on the infield dirt and have 2 players to each side of the infield. That's what I thought. I thought there was something similar to that. Yep. That's true. You're right. You have to have 2 players on each side of the infield, but not necessarily like, you could have 2 guys close to first base and give it up in the middle, I guess. Still, you can't do what you want. I know. Baseball trying to ruin the clock and all that. So Gilbert, I think he disengaged. Or was it Barger who disengaged? Because if you get 1 disengagement per batter. Both sides. Barger to right. That's a base hit. Here comes Varsho. He's going for the plate. Safe. And that's the first run of the game. The Blue Jays now have runners on first and third with nobody out. The Honey Barger with a looping single. And those two pesky errors have cost the Mariners right now. Wow. This is just amazing. Like, lots of action, reaction Jackson and all that. But because, you had football beforehand and some crazy games, including the Broncos versus the Giants, in which everyone, I think, figured the Giants were going to beat the Broncos. I even thought so, too. But, yeah, Broncos came back. Giants fans are probably clenching their teeth. Now, here's IKF. Isaiah Kyer Falafla. I think he went. Yes, he did. So, yeah. So, IKF, 3-for-7, 2 doubles. Basically, we got this guy off waivers for the purpose of getting some playoff experience, and also due to the fact that Bo Bichette got hurt at the start of the month in September. So Bichette is not on the roster, of course, because of his injury and all that. He just couldn't. He could have come back for the ALCS, but he was grimacing while doing running exercises. So the Blue Jays cautiously held him out. And I think that's a smart move. Well, that was a terrible pitch, but Raleigh kept it in front of him, so nobody moves. That's the thing. That's the thing, though. Yeah. So the question on my lips is that if Bichette is healthy, who do you dump off? I mean, IKF has had some good hitting. Barger's having a good hit. Clement. David Schneider, I know, hasn't played in the ALCS, but you got to put him on. And Bichette's not going to be super 100% unless. Well, M's are going to hand Jays the game. Well, I can't say that for sure. I mean, remember, the Jays had a cruising lead on the Yankees 6-1 in game 3, and they choked. The Blue Jays did. So I can't give it to him yet. 1-2. Chopper. And the runner goes. Oh, and Suarez hurried that. He hurried too much, and the Blue Jays are up 2-0. If he had just a little more caution, he would have thrown the first to get the out, but he doesn't. It's an E5. I don't think it's Logan's fault. I don't think it's Gilbert's fault. It's the infielder's fault and all of that. I won't blame Suarez for this one. Bare hands are do or die. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough play and all that. And he went with the bare hand. He thought he could bare hand it, but just off the fingers. Well, yeah. I mean, with the runner going home, like if the runner didn't break for home, I think Suarez would have easily thrown it either the second or the first for at least one key out. So now it's first and second for the Jimenez and all that. So yeah, Bichette comes back. Who do you dump off? Like, I mean, you can't take down Turkey in the Straw, Miles Straw, because he's been doing decent off the bench. Lober Fido would probably be the most common thing, but I think you have to keep Lober Fido, right? Yeah, because I know he was added in for Santander, but I think he's automatically in for the playoffs for the rest of the drive, I think. He decides to bunt, and he fouls it off. Not a bad idea. I would have done that too. Yeah, it is. The dome is closed due to the fact that we've had rain in the area, so that's pretty much a harbinger of things to come. 6 RBIs for the Gem in the ALCS. Pretty good. He had a pair of home runs, and everyone was like, who the hell is this guy getting all these home runs and all that? He's coming out of freaking nowhere. So the Jays are up 2-0. Yeah. I have a feeling Bieber will be the game 7 pitcher for the Blue Jays, and it would be. I'll have to go back and check who game 3 starter was. Castillo was game 4. I know that. Jimenez faked the bunt. That time he should have still went for the bunt. He would have gotten it down. So let's see the 2025 ALCS stuff and all that. Game 3 was Bieber and George Kirby. But the question in my mind is, do the Mariners have trust in Kirby for Game 7 if need be? Because that's the way the rotation is. It'll be Bieber versus Kirby again. Swinging at a miss, strike 3. Well, can't blame him. That's a good effort, though. And now, well, you still have the double play effort, and back to the top of the order for Springer. So yeah, Blue Jays up 2-0. Mariners making a lot of defensive gaps. I count 3, but I don't know how many errors in a sense the Mariners have. I'll probably just check they'll probably just show it at the end of the inning, like the line score. But yeah, Springer fouled out in the first. His bat shattered, and the end of the bat almost got Suarez. Almost wasn't Suarez's way, but it wasn't. Doesn't go for that pitch. Ball 1. Gilbert's already thrown 39 pitches, and he hasn't finished the second inning yet. Usually when you throw 20 pitches in an inning, that screams desperation, because 5 innings, your normal game, that's 100 pitches, right? In 5 innings, that's just awkward. And that's ball 2. So, yeah. Of course, OTP will be coming out tonight. Game 1 of the LCS in the Out of the Park League. The Phillies Legends and the Dodgers Legends went after it. Sandy Koufax against Pistol Pete Alexander. So that game actually was close to a pitcher's duel for a while. And then the game broke out into a sweat. I'm not telling you who has the advantage. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it. That will be up on the channel in about an hour and a half. Yeah, about 10:10. I'll be uploading again. I'll be uploading 3-0. He'll probably take. He doesn't have to take. That's ball 4. That's a walk. And here comes Lucas. I mean, if it was Flatty, it would be like, oh boy, oh boy. But Lucas could surprise you. So yeah, Logan Gilbert's thrown 42 pitches. He would have thrown a lot less if it wasn't for the mistakes of J-Rod and Suarez. So yeah, Gilbert is just breathing heavily. We'll see what Lucas does here for the Blue Jays. Lucas had a single in the first, but didn't score, obviously, because it was 0-0 headed to this bottom of the second pitch. He goes for it and fouls it off. So yeah, Blue Jays already up 2-0. So yeah, my producer is off screen. So anyway, he's telling me that Blue Jays, a couple of runs would be suffice. Well, we'll see. And he fouls it off to the screen. Love 2. So yeah, so Lucas, number 38 on your screen. Yeah, I wish that was Dave Steve's number, but Dave Steve wore 37. I know that for a fact. I wonder who wore 38 as a Blue Jay. But anyway, never mind that. 0-2. Oh, you got twisted like a pretzel. Strike 3. But the good news is Flatty's up at the plate. So now Gilbert thinks he's out of the woods because he got Lucas, and now he's got Flatty. Remember, he did hit a postseason grand slam, game 2 against those pesky Yankees, which kind of broke the game wide open, making it 9-0. Well, Gilbert doesn't have much error, and you don't walk someone with the bases loaded, especially in the postseason. That's kind of a fundamental no-no. We'll see what Guerrero does here. Ball 1. Yeah, he's telling them, don't go, don't go, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. I think they probably would not have moved. Nothing score. As this calls for us the second. He didn't make a mistake that time, and the Blue Jays leave the bases loaded. But 2 runs score, so at least they got something. The Mariners probably wishing that inning didn't happen. But Suarez, great play. With the bases loaded, he had a force play. So he didn't have to worry about throwing it to first. Yep. So there's that. Blue Jays are now up 2-0. As I pitch, Texas and New York. Wow, 10-7. Wow. So yeah, RJL game is 10-7 for the Rangers. Wow. I gotta see. Let's see here. Rangers were up. Well, Rangers were up 10-3, I guess. Yeah, the Rangers were up 10-3 in that game, and now it's 10-7. Yeah, I don't remember if someone had a comeback. So yeah. Anyway, World's Worst Gamer, play anything on the tabletop? Yeah, I'm actually curious. Did you play something on the tabletop? Did you play a tabletop, Quick Baseball fan? I know I didn't, because technically my tabletop is my PC, and I did play OTP baseball, obviously, and Second and 10 baseball because doing that Sunday tournament and all that. Oh, World War Gamer hasn't played tabletop in ages. I kind of thought he would. I would. Of course, things change and all that. The more things change, the more they stay the same. So it's 2-0 for the Blue Jays. Savage is just basically trying to think what happened. Did not today. Well, I mean, I thought I'd ask. You didn't. That's fine. So we'll be playing 7-card Monty after this, meaning that I'll if the 1976, the 2025 Topps Heritage, I'll give you 7 cards to unpack and all that. I'll make sure that I shuffled the cards and all that. So yeah, so this is a very intense series. Yep, the camera angles from the 500 level kind of make me queasy because I am fearful of heights and all that. Yeah, I am playing PC, of course. Also, World's Worst Gamer is playing a game on the PC while he's on my stream. That's fine. All that. Are you recording it or no? I don't know if you're recording it. I think maybe you're just recording it for later and all that, right? And a swing and a miss on that pitch 1 and 2. So yeah, in the background, my aunt's watching Edward Scissorhands upstairs. So yeah. I don't know how to record from my PC. Well, I don't record or stream hardly anything. Can't remember this time. I thought you did. I'll show you how I do it. I just use Bandicam for the PC to. So yeah, so it's nothing really. It's nothing really. Oh, leadoff walk. Rats. I thought they struck him out. I just hate that you're looking down at your laptop to type, and then of course your attention's on the laptop screen, not the big screen up ahead of you. Here's Canzone. Strike 1 on that one by Savage. He is 1 for 17 in this ALCS. Kenzone is, so maybe like Varsho, he'll get out of this swing of the miss on that one on too. Yeah, like I don't have the fancy schmancy PC recording and all that. I know you can use Wondershare to record the PC screen and all that, but I think the Betacam is much better because I know I can use my microphone from my laptop and all that. And the fact that after going from PC to laptop, I don't actually need my my little webcam. My little webcam that I attached onto the monitor when I had the PC and all that, but I can just use it from the laptop. It took me like a couple months after using laptop, swing and a miss, strike 3. This guy shouldn't really be playing it with his bad. Falcons and Niners are scoreless after 1 quarter. Interesting. Yeah, I know the Niners don't have Brock Purdy. He's hurt. Mac Jones is coming in. I mean, Mac Jones was a decent quarterback for the Pats. We gave him up for a 7th round pick to Jacksonville. Shows you how much he really wasn't worth it. But it was a 7th round pick. Rivas has been 0 for 7. The Mariners, I think after game 3 was it? They changed things that Polanco became the DH. Rivas moved to second base. And Kenzone went to the outfield. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on that one. Ice Tray. Nice pun. You gotta love the puns sometimes. My favorite pun would be Trey Sarah. I think that would be a good pun, hey? But we'll see what happens here against Rivas. Yeah, I know. I love puns too and all that. They're like dad jokes. 0-2. Oh, he didn't go. He almost did, but he didn't go anywhere, boss. So, yeah, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So, Blue Jays handling things 2-0. Hopefully, this could be the end of civilization as we know it. Why I said that, I don't know. Skipped it. Fortunately, Kirk keeps it in front of him to make sure that it's not going to be a movement from first to second, because you can move on a pass ball or wild pitch. I've seen that plenty of times in OTP. So, yeah, I got OTP. I got A Street Golf with a shock winner because of how much Shinnecock Hills just basically plays with you. What else am I up to? Well, 2nd and 10, as I said, like the winners, losers, and friends tournament. Rivas pops it up and a foul. Trying to make E Savage work for his pitches, I guess. So, yeah, had some games I didn't really have any games that really went down to the wire. I think I had one, Montana versus Brady, like the 89 Niners against the 2001 Pats went down to the wire. But other than that, everything was just like a double-digit victory. Well, he tried to get him on a curveball, but no, sir, ball 3. He's got to slow down and give Rivas something. But anyhow, yeah. But if you watch my college football one, you should watch the college football tournament on Saturday, because I had a 100-point offensive showdown between, who was it? Bowling Green and somebody else. Oh, no, Rivas. Oh, no way. Off the wall. So Rivas, man, it was a home run. I mean, of all people, Leo Rivas got a single. 1st and 2nd. I'm actually surprised. I think that they thought it was going to be a home run. That's why they didn't really run that fast. Yeah. It was like Leo Rivas of all freaking people. Yeah. Oh, it died. If the dome was open, that would have been a home run. Barger just above them, but fortunately not above the light blue line. And J-Rod, no, not J-Rod, and J.P. Crawford stayed at 2nd. Bad base running. I agree. I actually agree that was bad base running by the Mariners, because he definitely would have been on 3rd base. Oh, let's see what J-Rod can do. Can he pick him up here? Oh, step throw? No. Flatty says I got him. They are allowed to take a look and all that. Up. They're doing the Bullwinkle ears. We want to see. Well, Cleveland baseball fan said no, you didn't get him. Well, we'll see. Yeah, he tagged the bag before his hand got in. Yeah, he slapped the tag. Yeah, he slapped the bag. You can do that. You slap the bag, that counts. Watch this. Yeah, he slapped the bag and slapped the hand too before it got on the bag. He did get him. Because I think that's the rule. It's not a force play. But I think watch. Yeah, he tagged the bag. Unless Flatty forgot the rule. So maybe you're right. Maybe this is not a force play. I think he. Okay, well, if you're not allowed to slap if it was a force play, by first and second, isn't that like a force play? First and second? Guess not. No, yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe not a force play. But yeah, I think Flatty may have forgotten the rule, if anything, here too, because if he wasn't allowed to slap the bag in front of the oven mitt beats the tag. I hate how they make oven mitts for base stealers nowadays. Ricky Henderson didn't use a freaking oven mitt, and he stole all those bases. So, I mean, seriously. And, Ricky Henderson did play for the 93 Blue Jays. Now let's see what happens here. Oh, nothing's changed. So the Blue Jays lose their challenge. Yeah, I think you're right. I think because it was not a force play. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think Cleveland baseball fan had the point. If it was a force play, then it would be legal. But I think Flatty forgot the rule. Yeah, I think if Flatty had caught that ball, Cleveland didn't use his efforts to slap the bag, I think he would have gotten him at first base. I think that's what the reaction was. I mean, I don't blame Flatty for doing that because, he slapped the bag and may have it. Protecting the cocaine in his back pocket. Like Tim Raines quit his cocaine habit like in 82 or something like that. Or was it 83? Yeah, he quit early in his career. Like he did his great efforts like in 85 through 87 without cocaine and all that. So, the whole Pittsburgh drug trials. In fact, the Pittsburgh Pirates, their mascot, got in trouble for drug dealing. And that's ball 4. So now the bases are loaded for Raleigh. Nowhere to put them, though. So, yeah, that's going to be humongous. I haven't had anything to drink yet for 1 hour. Pete Walker, our pitching coach, is going to come out, talk to them about getting on Raleigh. Everyone's cringing because they know who Keller Raleigh freaking is. I mean, if the Mariners win this game, then there's no doubt Big Dumper is the ALCS MVP. Including the postseason, he has had 64 home runs and 132 RBIs. But of course, that's including the postseason. So, and unfortunately, you can't really use postseason. Yeah. Cleveland baseball fan or World's Worst Gamer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they vote for the MVP and the Cy Young and practically the Rookie of the Year before the playoffs, and the ballots have to be in by the playoffs or something? Because I think that they can't really take postseason action into play when talking about the AL or NL MVP or something like that. Because I don't think they can. Raleigh, ground ball. This could be a double play. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's a play. That's a double play. And the big dumper is out. That's a key play. Ooh. Postseason is not considered. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Postseason's not considered. I kind of had a hunch because I know the NHL doesn't do that. Because we always complain and say, why was he an MVP? He was sucked in the playoffs. Playoffs don't count. So it's, well, so, well, there goes, well, the Rangers are up 16-7. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's complaining about the YouTube pages. Just basically, yeah, the YouTube page. Everyone's just like, the names have changed. My name didn't even change. My name stayed the same. It's always at Color Historical and all that. Like, I never had my name change on anything with the handles and all that. World First Gamer, your handle hasn't changed. Clay Baseball Fed, your handle hasn't changed. But I think it's got something to do with live stream. Can't be live streaming because RJL's done the same thing. Well, I don't know. Maybe channel's privacy settings and all that. Mine has. That's how it's showing up fine up here. Mine has. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to know. Because I didn't change anything in my channel stuff and all that. Maybe it's just, I just had the basic stuff. I mean, I think some channels have like a more permanent things and all that. RJL Network is not like doesn't have to check verified and all that. Try fan to Cleve Baseball fan. I mean, Cleve Baseball fans a lovely handle. I wonder if that was because of the whole Tribe to Guardians name change that they thought it was offensive and changed it to Cleve Baseball fan. But I mean, it's a cool thing too. I mean, it still counts as the Tribe and all that. Like, I accept it and all that. I always would. So yeah, the Blue Jays are up 3-2. What am I thinking? I'm looking at my screen. But I changed once the name. What? Yeah, you changed because it changed from Indians to Cleveland. Yeah. Yeah, Indians to Guardians and all that. With the Guardians of the Gate. I thought they were doing it because of Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy. But then somebody told me that they had that bridge in Cleveland called the Guardian Bridge. And I'm like, okay, fair. Kind of a weird name and all that. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy are popular, so maybe they just wanted to go the Marvel route. I mean, the Raptors, when Toronto needed a basketball team name, and because of the popularity of Jurassic Park at that time, that's why we are called the Raptors, and we haven't changed since. Rumors were circulating the Raptors were going to change their name because they thought it was too cutesy and all that. So, yeah, anyway, here's Kirk, 0-2. Dingo. And that ball gets away from Raleigh, but it doesn't matter because no one's on base. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, the whole 1 hour per 3 innings rule is out the window because we've hit an hour of the stream and we're still in the bottom of the third. So, you know what? Kirk down the line. That's fair. Suarez. Oh, that hop. That almost ruined Naylor, but that counts. So 5-3. Yeah, Suarez almost bottled it for the third time. Time today. Yeah, he had to jump out of the way because if the ball hits the runner while you're running, that's an out. That's an automatic out. So yeah, I got all that. Yeah, true cards and dice. I'm like that too. I don't have the patience for true cards and dice, and those games cost a lot too, because with the whole surgeons in that type of stuff, numbers are higher and all that. So yeah, and like doing the setup and all that, it's not really the best in the world because I would need a second camera and all that. That's where, well, I still have my webcam from my PC and all that still, if I need a second camera. But yeah. So yeah, I'm using the laptop stuff. So it's 2-0 Blue Jays. Varsho hits it to right field, but it'll die quickly. Boom. To that. Excuse me. Yeah, it was raining a lot today. Like I was outside for like half an hour, 30, 45 minutes at around 4:00 because, well, I don't drive, so I have to walk to the grocery store and get my groceries for the week, for basically for work and, buy Oreo cookies for at home and all that. Because I do have a sweet tooth. Clement, deep drive, left field. Oh, nope, that is not a home run. It died. But it doesn't matter. A triple. I'll take what I can get. So a triple from Ernie Clement with 2 out. Yeah, if the dome was open, that definitely was gone. But oh well, it's a triple. Somebody did actually hit a inside the park home run in out of the park baseball, and I didn't expect it. I'm not telling you who, and if that changed anything. But yeah, Clement, it looked good. It felt good. Nope, just off that ledge. Barger needs a single or a boo-boo by the Mariners to score the 3rd run for the Blue Jays. Eddie Barger does has one of the 2 RBIs and all that. The other's Flatty. Barger, that's a hit, I think. Oh, yeah, say goodbye. One. The Honey Barger. Roses are red and violets are blue. Honey sweet, but not as sweet as a Honey Barger. Well, that's deep and gone. 4-0. So the Honey Barger puts it in, and I think that puts Logan Gilbert closer and closer to being yanked. Game over in my eyes. It's 4-0. It's only 4-0 in the 3rd inning. Seattle still has 6 offensive innings left for sure. Remember, World's Worst Gamer, your Yankees actually were down 6-1 to the Blue Jays and won Game 3 because we only did it in 3 innings. Here's IKF. He'll take a strike. Boy, Logan Gilbert thought he had it. Well, we just missed the home run with Clement, but Barger says hello, goodbye. He was really doing too well. Oops. Now what is Gimbal done? Someone has mentioned me in a comment. I think I may have goofed up on that because they're talking about Jesus Montero, and I made a comment, what would have happened if he stayed with the Yankees? But I didn't put it right. I'll check back later if the game gets close. Come on. You can still lurk and all that. Ground ball 6-3 out. Lurkers are welcome, though. Well, that's a ground ball out, and a 2-run home run by Barger makes it 4-0 for the Blue Jays. Nice ball to right center field, and I guess the Blue Jays can have offense with the roof closed and all that. So, doesn't matter. The Blue Jays are now up 4-0, and hopefully we got a Game 7 on our hands. Hopefully. Man. Yeah. So yeah, RGL right now it's 19-7. Unfreaking believable. I mean, why is Mendoza still pitching? Yeah, tomorrow will be regular Fox. That's right. Because Fox decided to have the Treehouse of Horror special this Sunday instead of next Sunday. And they could have kept it next Sunday because, the World Series isn't going to be next Sunday. I mean, next Friday and Saturday are 1 and 2. Yeah, they're saying that Palmero needs to hit a grand slam for the home run cycle. I mean, how often do you get 4 home runs in a game by anybody? All that. So, yeah. Man, Rafi Palmero was pretty good, but unfortunately, it's tainted because of him saying, "I have not used steroids." Period. And whammo, within that 2005 season, which you got to 3,000 hits, what happens? Or was it 500 home runs? I think one of the two. I can't remember. But anyway, he got taken and all that. Spokane Steve had a 66 game this year where he had 4 home runs hanging. Yeah, but were things different than RGL, like within the cards and all that? Because I know that sometimes different cards, different ways of it. Inside pitch is a good game, but like there's always the other stuff. What is the other one he uses? I forget. Fast pitch? No. He's using Strat. Yeah, Strat and inside pitch have a different card section. A card fundamentals, I think. I don't know why I say card fundamentals. That doesn't sound right. So yeah, it's 4-0 Blue Jays through 3 innings of play. Hopefully the Blue Jays win because we got ourselves a game 7. Yeah, where you can get a home run on the batter cart, unlike inside pitch. Yeah, that's exactly. Then you can get a home run right easily before you have to roll for it. So yeah, well, let's see what happens. Anything can happen in baseball though, too. Like, yes, you're up 4-0, but the game's not over yet by any stretch of the imagination. And a strike to Polanco. So, of course, the question is, if everything goes according to plan, does Seattle, I guess Seattle goes with Kirby, even though that he had a terrible first few innings. Wait, no. The Blue Jays got into the Mariners bullpen because Kirby had a high pitch count, but he controversially got dumped off and all that. I think they pulled him too early or something like that. I think that was the game I think that was the pitcher. Whatever. Blanco takes a 1-1 and fouls it off. Strike 2. So the Blue Jays are trying hard. They're up 4-0 to have a game 7. And as I said, a lot of people probably are like, Blue Jays have never been to a game 7 because normally every game ends in 6. You'd be wrong. The first ever playoff series the Blue Jays played in 1985 went to 7 games. I know you also said that, when they went to the LDS in the winner take all against the Rangers in game 5, but that's not a game 7 by quote unquote. Well, it's a game 7, quote unquote, but not an actual game 7. It was a game 5. Probably would have went 7 if it went to 7 games that round. But yeah, so yeah, 85 the Blue Jays lost in 7. 89 they lost in 5 to the A's. 91 they lost in 5 to the Twins. 92 they beat both Oakland and Atlanta in 6. Polanco to right field. Died down. It looked good off the bat, but Barger patiently waited on the ball and poof, into his glove, 1 down. 93 Blue Jays won both series in 6. 2015 they won over Texas in game 5. It was winner take all, but it was a game 5 and a game 7. And then they were close to forcing game 7 against the Royals, but faltered. And then in 2016, they swept Texas in 3 games, and then they lost game 5 to Cleveland. Couldn't do anything in the wild card games to save their lives. Naylor bouncing a base hit. Varsho is going to play on a hop. Naylor is not the fastest runner in the world, so he'll just take a single. Arozarena is on deck. Is on now coming up. Good hit by Naylor. That was a pretty good pitch. Of course, everyone knows that now it's the Dodgers who play the AL winner, and the Dodgers will probably be heavily favored, even if it is Seattle or Toronto. I mean, even if Toronto hosts the World Series games 1, 2, 6, and 7, that's what the Jays would be doing if they win the ALCS. Then basically everyone says the Dodgers. I mean, the Blue Jays did lose 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers, but they did win that final game of the 3-game set on a Sunday in August, and that actually is the catalyst for why the Blue Jays would have home field instead of the Dodgers. Rosarita chopper, one play. Oh, and he also bobbles it. Clement also boops on the bare hand. So just like his counterpart Suarez, who's coming up to the plate, he tried the bare hand. Whoa, it rolled 1-2 bounce. Shit. Well, can't blame him. Yep. Their basemen are being eaten up. It took a couple of short hops, if you will. If it was a long hop, I think Barger would have definitely got at least a Rosarena at first because he's the faster runner, so you got to take care of him. Here's Suarez. Ball. So Suarez, yeah. Well, he's batting much better in the ALCS than he was the ALDS, for sure, because his postseason average is still below the Mendoza line. Yeah, that's it off. 1-1. Yeah, it's tough sledding at times, being a Blue Jays fan. No, like being a Toronto sports fan in the first place. I mean, like, so many disappointing game 7s if you're a Toronto hockey fan, like the Leafs. I mean, the Raptors even had some game 7 worries, including 2020 when COVID forced the playoffs to Walt Disney World. I mean, Raptors had to play Boston in game 7 and they lost. So, yeah. And then 2014 against Brooklyn, which ABC broadcast that game, Kyle Lowry had a shot, but Paul Pierce blocked it with the 2 seconds left, and that ended the Raptor season. So, yeah, being a Toronto fan in game 7 is not always the best thing in the world. 2-2-1 out to Suarez. Suarez. I mean, the Raptors did win that game 7 against the Sixers with Kawhi's shot bouncing 4 times off the rim and in. Now, of course, if that shot didn't go in, that wasn't Philly's win. The game was tied when Kawhi put that shot up. And then Kawhi stupidly left after just 1 freaking year with the Raptors. Oh, no, it gets away. It's going to be 2nd and 3rd. So now Suarez, if he can flip one to the outfield, that's definitely going to be a run. I think it got to him. I think he got a little antsy here. Through the wickets of Alejandro Kirk, through the 5-hole. We are in a hockey town. All that. Seattle kind of is more of a baseball town and a basketball town and a soccer town than a hockey town. But, that's just me. Oh, man, ball 4. Now the bases are loaded again for the Mariners. Rutrow is right. And Crawford's coming to play. Crawford's not really the home run threat, but, everything could be just off in just one foul swoop, if you will. So that's just going to be a little nerve-wracking here. What he can do. If he can just get a double play ball, just like with Raleigh, then everything will be okay. Crawford is batting 2 for 16. If anything should happen, good for the Blue Jays. Oh, it just caught the strike zone, strike 2. So now, Crawford's had 6 grand slams. Okay, fair, but it's like I don't think he's really had the bat in the postseason. Those Trey. Hopefully. Chopper? Yes. We're going to get out of it again. We do get out of it again. Second bases jammed, loaded jams, and Seattle just can't get out of it. So, man, oh, man, that's huge. That is huge. 2 bases loaded jams, and we got out of them without any damage whatsoever. Woo, baby. That's how you do it. Up 20-7. So Texas has 20 runs and all that. So yeah, Chili Davis coming to the plate with 2 outs. Yankees and Rangers will go to a game 6 in the RJL network, ALCS. I think he has a travel day coming up soon, right? So yeah, he's talking to something. Obviously, I don't want his stuff being on my channel. All that. A 4-4 at a 17. He throws a 1-6. And they've got to do something here. It's now best of 3. Okay, so RJL wins the game 20-7. So Texas beats the Yankees 20-7 with 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals against a touchdown. Yep. Florida fires Billy Napier. Yeah, I saw that as I was checking the Yahoo stuff. But yeah, Napier is being fired. Florida gets rid of him. So yeah, the Gator chomp is the Gator chomp out of here. A Gator will chomp on his butt as he's leaving. Yep, you're out of here. So yeah, that's just a huge part. Everything. One sec. Sorry about that. So he's out. Springer is practically playing tooth and nail. So, that's a that was a big double play by the Blue Jays to end the top of the fourth. I mean, those double plays are big and all that. So, anyhow, that's the way it looks and all that. Pitching the way. Springer, that's dead dog. If the roof was open, that probably would have been trouble, but that isn't trouble. Gilbert's still pitching. I'm actually surprised, but you don't want to use up too much of your bullpen for Game 7. And if the Blue Jays win, we got a Game 7 on our hands and all that. I mean, the fear of a Game 7. I mean, when you're a Toronto sports fan like yours truly, like a Game 7 is hard to stomach. Raptors have had some Game 7s. The Leafs have had some Game 7s. A lot of Game 7s, in essence. Pitch on the way. Lucas fouls it away. So let's see here. Cutter top 10, right? Okay. Yeah, I just got to check and see. Yeah, that was one of my first ones. My ranking of the 8 winner-take-all losses of the Leafs since 2013. Can you believe that the Leafs have been to 8 winner-take-all games? Well, Game 7s, except for 2020 against Columbus, because that was a best-of-5 preliminary round. So, 7 Game 7 losses by the Leafs since 2013 in 12 years. That's like 7 out of 12. It was like, holy shit. Pitch of the way. Lucas Alcs. So I'm just trying to take a look at Sharp Sports because they have some very good stuff and all that. All right. Yeah. I should technically put this as one of my bookmarks. Let's see. The NBA. The Raptors. The Toronto Raptors. Game 7s. The Raptors are 3-3 in Game 7s. Okay. So they're not as bad as I thought they would be in Game 7s. Yeah, they had back-to-back Game 7. Yeah, the Raptors have only been to 6 Game 7s in their career. They're 3-3. Lucas, chopper, but this will be ground ball out. So 3 up, 3 down for the Blue Jays, but they're still up 4-0. It's still good. Yeah, the first Game 7 in Toronto Raptors history was 2001 when they lost that game. Vince Carter went to his graduation in North Carolina. Didn't stay long. He took the chopper back because the Raptors were playing Philly at 5:30 in the afternoon that day. And, maybe it affected him, maybe not. He missed that game-winning shot. That was at the Raptors to the Eastern Finals in 2001 against the Bucks. And then in 2014, the second Game 7 was the one, Paul Pierce's block shot. And then 2016, they beat the Pacers in Game 7 on home turf to win their first playoff series in 15 years. And then the Heat took over in the second round. They crushed the Heat to go to the Eastern Finals against Cleveland, and we all know what happened there. 2019, they beat Philly on the Kawhi Leonard shot, and then Game 7 was, of course, Orlando doing their bubble thing, and the Raptors lost, even though they had home field. So the Raptors have had home court in 5 of the 6 Game 7s. MLB Blue Jays have only been to 1. I know that for a fact. NHL, how many Game 7s have the Leafs been in? The Leafs have been in 28 and are 12-16. So the Leafs have lost their last 7 Game 7s. They won in 2004. The last Game 7, they won 7 straight losses. They were 12-9 in Game 7s in their franchise history. Now they're 12-16. And all that. Yeah, the first Game 7 was 1941. And they lost. Famously, they won Game 7 at the Stanley Cup Finals in 42 against the Red Wings when the Leafs were down 3-9. 45, they beat the Red Wings in Game 7. Red Wings almost came back from 3-0 down to win the series, but they didn't. Leafs beat the Red Wings in the Stanley Cup Finals Game 7, 1964. The Leafs beat the Islanders 2-1. Well, I'm doing Leafs Game 7 playoff wins, but the Leafs won Game 7 in Long Island against the Islanders, the up-and-coming Islanders in 1978. Got them to the Stanley Cup semis against Montreal, which they got their butts handed to them, but they still had it. 1993, they famously took care of the Red Wings in overtime, Nick Borshevsky's goal in the first round. And then the Leafs took care of St. Louis 6-0 in Game 7, home alone. And then they had to beat San Jose in 94 in Game 7. 2002, they beat the Islanders in Game 7, then the Senators in 2002 as well. 2004. Yeah, so, Toronto's Toronto. Well, anyway, Canzone up against E. Savage, and that's way away. Ball one. So the Blue Jays are trying to force the issue in a Game 7, which would be a rarity in Blue Jays history. 40 years ago was the only time they had a Game 7. Canzone is a bit mad because he thought he didn't swing at that, but it's a strike anyhow. Well, he's got 5 of those strikeouts and all that, as the K meter is there. 1-1 on the way. Fouls away 1-2. So, yeah, Canzone's 1 for 18 in the ALCS. So, like, if Seattle's going to do something to change their mojo, they have to change Canzone. Like, who else do you have and all that? Pitch in the way. He wanted a curveball, but it curved too high, 2-2. So the Blue Jays are looking to snake past those pesky Mariners to force a Game 7 in Toronto tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It probably will be Bieber versus Kirby by my guess. Ew. They said it was a strike, but it ain't a strike. I call it a strike. So anyway, Blue Jays are trying everything in their power to do something. 4-0. Chopper up the middle. That's a base hit. So Canzone can get base hits and all that. Right up the gut. E. Savage is a little fuming because he's like, we should have this guy because of his bad batting. So if they're going to the bullpen phone, but you got to keep E. Savage in for at least 5 innings because then he's in line for the win. Otherwise, he won't be. Well, it's basically reminding you of Scherzer in Game 4 saying, I want that fucking ball or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, he said that. Strike 1, top of the zone, Rivas. He's 1 for 8. His first ALCS hit was the last at bat, where we thought it was gone, but it was just a looping single. And Seattle had bad base running. Fial, strike 2. So we'll see what happens here. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice pitch. That's strikeout number 6. Yeah, if he could just pitch himself out of this jam, all that. So Toronto, Farland is the guy who is coming up. He does touch 100 sometimes on his pitches. So that should help. Pitch, Julio, ground ball. This could be another double play. He does. 6-4-3, ready in the bank, catching. And for the 3rd straight inning, Seattle hits into a DP. That is just lovely and all that. So anyway, we'll be ready to go. So talk amongst yourselves. I'm just muting for a few minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, the moment is there. So, yeah. So, see, I got to check a few things here. Oh, oh, they're telling me some stuff for choking hazard. So joking has. So I have to pick up my thing for joking hazard. So clean. It's a booster pack. 50 coins. Congrats. It's now silver. They call me silver. I don't know what that means. Green shirt guy simulator. I gotta get that card and all that. So yeah, I'm a level 19 in choking hazard. You know, the cyanide and happiness games, so I'm happy about that. I love that game so much. Yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be 13 degrees Celsius. It was 19 today with rain. Yeah, so the Blue Jays, if they could just keep everything going, hunky dory. We got a game 7 on our hands on Monday. Friday's 0 for 2. Unusual. Nope. I thought it just painted that corner, 1-1 strike. Losardo is in the pen. Catcher meowing at me. 1-1 strike. Oh, baby! Say goodbye! One blonde cutter. That's why we gave him the bag. He's making us happy we gave him the freaking bag. It's 5-0. Beautiful. That's the Vladdy Jr. we saw against the Yankees. And he's just made things a whole lot worse, in a sense. So, man, oh, man, oh, man. Well, Logan Gilbert is going to get the sack. Basardo's coming in. I don't really like to say this, but I'll say it. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. 5-0 Blue Jays. Now, let's hope we can keep this 5-run game and all that. And Clean Baseball fan plays Hit the Road Jack. Do you really need to do that, Blue Jays? We have another pitcher coming up, like dim the lights and all that. That's kind of a bit awkward, don't you think? I don't like it. I mean, you're up 5-0. You don't want to piss off the Mariners. Well, that's what Vladdy does. That's what Vladdy does. Was that a shrug? I think that was a shrug. But yeah, on a line, he knew he had to take it, and nobody moved. That will land in the Blue Jays bullpen. So yeah, I guess the Blue Jays can get hits in the dome when it's closed and all that. They'll probably close the dome for Game 7. It is going to be a little bit cold, child, but I mean, like, you know, you've had some cold games, like Cleveland, like in '97, they played what, 3 of the coldest World Series games ever in '97. Like the temperatures were terrible, so much so that snow actually appeared for a few games, or at least one game for sure. But yeah, like snow, really? Yeah, in October, AO. 5-0 Blue Jays. Yeah, you're giving Vladdy a hug and all that. Hopefully, it's not a moment for the Mariners to come back. and all that. I think those two bases loaded situations that ended in double plays basically were the TSN turning point for the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays have added on. They're now up 5-0. If the Blue Jays can just hang on right here, right now, we got a game 7 on our pause. And more than likely, we'll see Bieber versus Kirby. And of course, the bullpens are going to be at it. The question on everyone's lips will be how bad the bullpens are going to be. The Blue Jays obviously haven't had anyone yet for Yi Savage. There will be probably 1 or 2 arms for sure. And Seattle will probably use 1 or 2 arms. Bazardo. 4 earned runs in 9 innings. So he has a 4 earned run average because, it's your ERA is basically through per 9 inning game, 9.0 innings, not 9.1. That. The Falcons had a chance to score some points in San Francisco, but they got caught with potential grounding. So that meant that the clock runs out, and it's 7-3 Niners at the half. As Cleveland baseball fan is alerting me about this. So, yeah. Yeah, so what's the feeling, Cleveland baseball fan, if I must ask you, what's the feeling in Ohio because of Ohio State being the number 1 team in the nation? All that. So, how do you think? Do you think the Ohio State Buckeyes are the number 1 team in the nation? I mean, they are the defending national champs through that playoff, which actually saw a lot of people get a bit miffed with the fact that 1-4 got the byes and they all lost. Kirk to right field, out. But yeah, Ohio State, that was a big run. I mean, all 4 teams that were in the semifinals had to go through the home game and all that, right? Yeah, I don't think any road team won in the first round of the CFP and all that, the 5-12, 6-11, 7-10, 8-9 games. All 4 were run by the home team. If I remember right, it was Penn State, Ohio State, Texas, and Notre Dame who were playing in those games and all that. In the first round last year in the CFP, and then they all went for ahead. Ohio State got revenge on Oregon at the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. Ohio State has still room to improve. Yeah, they should be number 1 in the nation. I mean, who's number? I forgot who. Well, I got to remember who's number 2 now. Varsho. It's a setter, deep setter. J-Rod jumps. Oh, he doesn't have to jump. That died at the wall. That would have been a home run. In a open air stadium, that would be gone. And putting more icing on the cake. But no, sir. I wonder what the polls are right now. Yeah, what the polls are right now. Okay, so the AP poll, I guess that's the main one for week 8. So Ohio State number 1, Indiana number 2. How the heck did Indiana, losing Curtis Rourke, who was a pretty good quarterback and a Canadian, by the way, are doing much better this year than they did last year? I mean, Indiana, no offense, but they're not really a football school. They're more of a basketball school. I mean, Bobby Knight helped them win so many titles. And, it was the birthplace of basketball in a sense. Ernie Clement. Excuse me. Clement to right field. This will dip. That's definitely fair. And he might have a double. Ken Zone definitely can't do it. So Clement's got a double and a triple. Keep the line moving. Don't take your foot off the pedal because that could help. So, okay, so Ohio State's number 1, Indiana number 2. Wow. A&M number 3. Arkansas was so close to pulling off another one of those massive upsets because Tennessee was number 4 last year when they came to Fayetteville and lost. And then Arkansas only lost by 3 points to A&M. We have a rivalry with them. Barger, that's what we call it. He blows a bubble while catching the ball. A little offensive. But hey, Vladdy hits a home run, 5-0 through 5. So, things look good. Alabama, number 4. Georgia, number 5. Yeah, those teams have been improving. Oregon, number 6. Georgia Tech, number 7, even though they're 7 for 7. I can kind of see it. I would probably put them number 6 and put Oregon number 7. Ole Miss, number 8. Even though they lost, Miami drops to number 9, so they're still top 10. And Vanderbilt is number 10. I mean, Vanderbilt in the top 10 in football. Like, how do you figure? Vanderbilt, to me, before last year, was just basically Jay Cutler being the only good thing from Vanderbilt for football. BYU's number 11. They're 7-0. Notre Dame's lost twice, but they're number 12 and all that. So, yeah. So Louisville, Illinois, ASU, and Michigan are now in the top 25 after USC, Memphis, Utah, and Nebraska have been dropped. I got to think. Ohio State, do they play Indiana this year? Let me take a look at their schedule. They don't even play Indiana. I mean, we could see 2 undefeated teams from the Big Ten, like Ohio State and Indiana. That's not fair, I must say. They should be playing each other. Well, Ohio State's got to play Penn State. That's always fun. But they get a bye. Yeah, next week they don't play, but they play November 1st against Penn State. That should be interesting. Well, they're at home. And then they go to Purdue and face off against the world's biggest drum. And then LA comes to Ohio, UCLA, Ohio State. They've met in a few Rose Bowls. Rutgers comes to Ohio Stadium, and then OSU's got to go to Michigan. And that game on Fox, and try to break that 3-game losing streak against Michigan, which everyone's shocked at. So, yeah, Ohio State. I look at Penn State. I think Penn State is a good team, but they have been falling off a cliff and fired James Franklin. So, yeah. Purdue, I think they can beat Purdue. LA, I think they can beat them. Rutgers, they can beat them. Michigan will be the tough one. So, I think they have 1 tough one against Michigan, 3 easy ones, and 1 middle of the pack. Penn State, you never freaking know. Indiana, they lost Curtis Rourke because of it. So now they got to face UCLA on Fox. We are Fox Sports. So LA comes to Indiana to play. Well, Fox should have that game because, be number 2. And the fact of the matter is that, you don't really think that an UCLA-Indiana football game would be big. I mean, if it was basketball, obviously, because you have 2 of the greatest schools of all time. And then after UCLA comes Maryland. That could be tough. Maryland's not so easy. Penn State, well, they have to go to Penn State. Then they host Wisconsin. Yeah, they host Wisconsin. But they don't have to do the jump around. And then they go to Purdue on the 28th on the Friday night, on Black Friday, for the Old Oaken Bucket against Purdue. All right. That's what we want. There's a 10-3. Yeah. There's a bye. And then 4-game losing streak over 4 games. I thought it was 3 against Michigan. Okay, well, 4. I guess you're right. Yeah. 4. I thought it was 3, at least 3. Well, Farland is up at the pen. His average has an 0-2 on Big Dumper. That ball. I think the rule is if the pinch counter hits 0, then that's an automatic ball. But that was a ball anyway. So I think he had to throw it because the pitch counter was almost done. So, yeah. You do what you have to do. Pitch. Fouls it off. That is a foul ball. Hughes Evers has thrown 79 pitches through 5 innings. Well, technically less through 5 innings, but yeah, 5+ innings, I should say. So, yeah, I think that maybe after 1 or 2 batters, they're going to yank him. I mean, you want to save his energy. I mean, the question on everyone's lips will be, what the World Series rotation would look like for Toronto if everything goes according to plan. They got him. Yeah. Big Dumper got a dump again. That's 7 Ks for Yi Savage. So that's another one on the books. Man, this guy has been basically our X factor. Honestly, almost every Blue Jay fan must have been worried when he was in the postseason, as a starter. And it was like, well, how is he going to do? He's had only 3 starts in the major leagues in the regular season. That's kind of akin to Stroman, because Stroman injured himself in spring training in 2015, and everyone thought he was done for the season, but then he rehabbed tirelessly, and by September, he was back on the roster, and he pitched well in the postseason for us. As opposed to David freaking Price. We got David Price for the postseason stretch drive, but he was shit in the postseason and all that. And then 2018, he ended up winning the thing. David Schneider is in the batting cage. I don't know why they're showing him in the batting cage. I think he got hurt last round, didn't he? Well, there's David Schneider in the batting cage. That's kind of strange how they would give him that. Like Blanco, Vladdy flip, boom. That's an out. That's 2 outs. And all that. So Trey doing his job, and now you got Big Maple coming up. That's Naylor. So, yeah. Oh, I just noticed that Vladdy has something on his cap, on the front of his cap, whereas Savage doesn't. I wonder if that's legal. And all that. I think it is. Ah, shit. Well, there goes the shutout. Well, it was a Canadian who did it, so on Canadian soil. So what can you expect? I don't know. Naylor looked a bit miffed after that swing. He probably thought it was foul. He's on to right field. And he twisted himself, and then he turned with his back to the plate. Oh, I saw the bat flip near the end. I saw the bat flip. He's like, yeah, I got it. Still 5-1. Foul. And that's a base hit. Well, he's going out to get him. You might as well. I mean, he did pitch well, but he's starting to struggle. And 4 runs isn't safe. So hopefully the Blue Jays bullpen gets the job. E. Savage is going to definitely get a standing ovation by the Blue Jay fans. He's getting an ovation from me, that's for sure. I mean, this guy has pitched his heart out in his 3 postseason starts. All in Toronto, all doing pretty well. Well, even game 2 when he faltered. But hey, you know what? What can you do? So it's 5-1 Blue Jays. I'm just gonna. Am I gonna deafen or no? I'm gonna partially deafen for a little bit. I'll be back. All right, so they got to get Suarez. Suarez throws it to right, dips in. That's just down the line, and that will get Rosarina. They're going for the plate. They're going to go at the plate. Off the line. Rosarina is a speedster. As an RBI single by Suarez, it's now 5-2. Well, you can't blame yourself, Farland. That just dipped in the first base line for fair ball. Yeah, that just did it. And Arizona is a fast runner, so what can you do? You just can't do too much. So, see what happens. That is a ball. So, see what happens. So 2-2 pitch to Crawford. This is a key one here. Ball 3. And a big strikeout by Farland there. So after 5.5, the Blue Jays leads now down to 5-2. So they've got to do something, because if they don't, they could be in trouble. So anyhow. Alrighty then. Pretty good. All right, so Blue Jays did give up a run, but you know what? There's still time to get 2 more. So, I mean, the Blue Jays can just add a few more runs, then we should be okay. I mean, I don't want to, say, well, that's over, but it's not done yet. I mean, there's still a few innings left for both teams to swing the bat. Of course, there will be 7 card Monty, as it will be giving you 7 Topps Heritage 2025 cards at random, like pulling them and all that. And of course, I've got things on my mind. So So yeah, 5-2 is your score. Mariners 2 in the 6th. So Blue Jays have got to add. They probably have to match that to be a little more comfortable. Because if you're not that comfortable, then things can go for crapola or granola, if you will. Here's Basardo to IKF. Why did he go after the first pitch? That is very short. JP makes the play. Sometimes it's not good to go after the first pitch because then you gotta make him work for it. You gotta make him work, keep in the counts. I think that's what a good batter does against Jimenez. Blue Jays are a little nervous. Well, who can blame them? I mean, if the Jays win, we got a game 7, which, I mean, has never happened in Blue Jays Rogers Center history. I mean, like in the era. The only time it happened was 1985, but that's when the Blue Jays were hosting games at Exhibition Stadium, which is now, of course, BMO Field for soccer. By 2, and a swing and a miss by Jimenez. So, yeah, the Blue Jays are trying hard to win this game. Brash and Fargus are on the bump. I think that the Blue Jays are a little nerve-wracked. You a little hesitant, and a strike 3 to use up a lot of your bullpen arms because you'll need them for tomorrow for game 7. You know that if I was allowed to do game 7 rules, I would say that if you give up a run, you have to be pulled from the game in the bullpen and all that. Makes it a little more interesting. That's how I do it for out of the park baseball. And having some good game 7s and all that. There's Springer. And a foul. Yeah, it was scary. Springer got the ball off the knee on Friday, and then everyone thought, oh, he's not going to be able to play game 6. Oh, he is. He sure is. Springer, third base. Oh, he's grimacing. He was grimacing a little bit. But he's grounded out. 3 up, 3 down for the Blue Jays. So the Jays have got to get something going here offensively because a 5-2 lead is not always the safe bet. And you know that the Dodgers are weight. Yeah, he was hobbling. I thought so when I saw the butt end of him grimacing. So that's kind of got some bad vibes and all that. So, yeah. You got the whole vibes thingy here. Blue Jays are trying ever so much. Oh, yeah. That's when you're the others. So, just got something. Oh, the Niners have just kicked the field goal to make it 13-3. Gotta love it. Everything and all that. So yeah, I've got 3 videos to upload. 3 videos that will be uploaded in a few minutes. So I will start uploading ASG golf, 2nd and 10 football, NFL style, and of course, OTP. Did I say OTP? Yeah, OTP, ASG, and 2nd and 10. So tomorrow uploading will be, OTP for sure. It's a double header though, because the ALCS starts game 1 and the NLCS is game 2. because the NLCS actually starts game 2 in the afternoon, and then game 1 in the ALCS is at night. Between Detroit and Oakland, I'm sorry, Cleveland baseball fan, for the fact that Cleveland started off fast against Detroit, but floundered near the end of game 7. All the home teams won that series, and all that extra home game that the Tigers got for being a better seed worked out in the butt end. Yeah, if it was NBA rules, I mean normal reseeding rules and non-NBA rules, Cleveland would have fit in facing Oakland, and then it would have been Detroit versus Houston, and Houston would have had home field. But it's not what you think. Anyway, Ken Stone against Farland. Oh, 99 miles per hour, but that's a ball. 2 balls, 2 streaks. Yeah, I hate, streaming late because, I want to play Song Pop. But obviously I can't play it live on stream because copyright infringement. Pop up to the gem. One out. Blue Jay fans will be obviously on pins and needles tomorrow. I mean, I'll be on pins and needles tomorrow. I got to work a 6.5 hour shift, and then come home, do OTP, do the Doug Martin tribute game because I owe Doug Martin a tribute game because he was a good runner for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and all that. I don't know which Tampa Bay era I'm going to use Doug Martin. I think he was in 2018. A guy in the late 2010s for running for the Bucks. I keep thinking he was a Raider too. All that. I'll have to take a peek. Yeah. So I have to take a peek. Doug Martin. 36 years old. Yeah, Boise State. I knew he was from Boise State. Yeah, his wiki page is full of boo-boos. He was picked in the first round by the Bucks in 2012. The 31st pick. The second running back to be selected. Yeah, he had 6 years with Tampa, 1 year with Oakland. He had a 1,400-yard rookie season and 1,400 yards in season 4. I think he was injured. Most rushing yards in a single game for the Bucks. That's his record and all that. And 4 touchdowns against the Raiders. I'll probably just do a rematch. Raiders taking on Tampa. The 2012 Raiders going to the 2012 Bucks for the Doug Martin game and all that. A medical emergency. 36 years old. Yeah. He was a pretty good player for Boise State. I say the best Boise State running back, not named Ashton Gentry, who also was a Raider. So I think that will be it. I think it'll be the 2012 Bucks against the 2012 Raiders in Tampa for the Doug Martin tribute game. Pitch on the way. J-Rod, that's a ball. That is a ball according to Sportsnet, and that's a ball according to the up. J-Rod 0 for 2 today with a walk. The pitch. J-Rod gets into it to left field, but the patience of the left fielder makes the play. And now 3 up, 3 down. Now we go to the 7th inning. It's now time for take me out to the ball game. Wrong. Who cares about taking me out to the ball game? We're in Toronto. We're doing OK Blue Jays here and all that. The song is. The song. The song. So here we go. We need it. All right, here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. You've got a diamond. That's me. You've got 9 men. Yeah. You got a hat, a bat, and that's not all. You got the bleachers. Got them from spring till fall. You got a dog and a drink and an umpire's call. What do you want? Let's play ball. Okay. Blue Jays. Let's play ball. Okay. Blue Jays. Let's play ball. Here we go. 5-2. So, yeah. Oh, actually, hang on here. Now, do I have enough room for stuff? Probably not. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Had to take something care of it off screen. Lucas, man. The Falcons just scored touchdowns 13-10. This is going to be closer than I thought, huh? Well, we're in the 7th. Yeah, that sounds about right with the way the game is going. All this stuff. I think this is like all that, right? Yes. Sorry, I'm just making sure that everything looks cool. All that's got to be uploading. Flatty with the home run in the last at bat. Brash is coming in trying to be so brash. I plunked him. The Blue Jay fans they're like, oh, you brat. I don't think that was on purpose. The fans think it's on purpose. Yep, that definitely was not on purpose. I mean, a lot of people like, oh, come on. That's just plain dumb. But that didn't look intent. Alejandro's over 3. Unfortunately, his game is like hot and cold. Everyone's hot and cold sometimes. Alejandro, that's a hit. All right. A few more runs by the Blue Jays, which should be kind of giving the whole whew. So, yeah, ASG Golf, the 4060s Tour, one more normal tour, and then we have the Red Sox fan tournament. It will be a match play, though, too. Niners will be punting. Need Niners to win by 4 or more. Need Niners to win, period. So now, well, Raleigh's trying to tell his pitcher that Farshow is a threat. So the Blue Jays are trying, and they're 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 trying to win this game, force a game 7, which is almost virgin territory for Blue Jay fans. Like if you're a Blue Jay fan from, I figure if you're a baseball fan, if you're a Blue Jays fan born after 1978, then you obviously don't know much about a game 7, if you will. So that's the thing. A lot of Blue Jay fans would be like, haven't we been to a game 7? Other than 1985 against the Royals in the first ALCS that went to a best of 7? No. As I said, and in case you're watching and you missed the first part of it, I went over the fact that the Blue Jays lost in 7 and 85 to the Royals. Of course, they blew that 3-1 series lead, and Jim Sundberg's wind-blown bases clearing triple helped out and all that. And then 1989 lost to the A's in 5. 91 lost to the Twins in 5. Oh, that was a nice pitch. Beretta the third. That's a terrible throw. It's going to be a run. It's going to be 6-2. Raleigh panicked. I think he panicked. I think he panicked. And the Blue Jays have just scored. It's now 6-2. And all that. Yeah. Raleigh panicked. He panicked. If he had just let it go, it would have been second and third. He swung and missed, but Raleigh didn't have that pitch. He made a hesitant throw. Well, Vladdy basically spooked Raleigh, and he got a cross and makes it 6-2. Pitch in the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's all right. Too bad it wasn't an RBI for a show, but it counts. 6-2. I'm hoping that the Blue Jays win this thing, and then, the anxiety levels will rise tomorrow, probably in probably by supper hour. The game starts at 8 o'clock Eastern time, game 7, just like today. So, Clement's got a triple and a double. I just wish he had a single, because then he would need a home run for the cycle. Triples are not easy to hit and all that when you hit a cycle. But it's 6-2 Blue Jays. One more game, all that. Blue Jays force game 7. Win that, we get home field for the World Series. And I know a lot of you probably think that, well, in the 2 Blue Jays World Series wins, have we had home field advantage for both? No. Only one. 93 we did. 92 we did not have home field advantage. But the fact is that they did it by rotation. It didn't matter how many wins you had and all that. It was by a rotation system. Although 93, they had more wins than the Phillies. Well, the Braves had over 100 wins. That year. Oh, I thought he called a strike. I wouldn't have faulted the umpire by saying ball strike 1. That looked like a strike. What Woodworth is coming in. He's the pitcher coach because Dan Wilson, former Mariners catcher, is the manager. Is it Mariners catcher, right? Yep. So let's see what the Honey Barger does. He did go deep last time, so will Barger do something here? He doesn't have a lot of hits, but sometimes it's like not the amount of hits you get, it's the amount of runs you create. I said the last time that he had the home run, but I'm wrong. That was the 3rd inning. And the Blue Jay fans are just going bonkers. I know there's a lot of Mariner fans there, too, in Toronto. I mean, the Blue Jays aren't going to prevent Mariner fans from coming and all that. That would just be stupid. Barger's got 3 RBIs today. He only had 1 the first round against the Yankees / the first 5 games of the ALCS. So, he's done much better in his RBI total today, that is. Sometimes you just have to have that one guy to come out of freaking nowhere and be a hero. That's way wide ball, too. Brash is not being brash with his pitches. They're trying to get him away, and it ain't working. 2-0. He takes, he strikes. 2-1. Yeah, it's going to be one heck of a day tomorrow. I mean, the Blue Jays are looking closer and closer to forcing a game 7. Ball 3. Yeah, I know the feeling, but yeah, Barger's probably going to take the next pitch. Like, he'll probably just. What was that about? Anyway, 3-1. Swing and a miss. Yeah, that would have been a strike anyhow. So payoff pitch will come. The runners will move because it's 2 outs. So yeah, I don't know. Is that IKF in the on deck circle? I don't know if that is 3-2. Oh, ball 4. Bases are loaded for the Blue Jays. And here comes. Yep, IKF. I recognize that number 7 anywhere. Is that a 7? Yep, it is, because that's IKF. So they're going with a change. Oh, they're going with a pinch runner. Yeah, Barger is going to come out of the game for Turkey in the Straw. So yeah, Turkey in the Straw is coming out to pinch run at first base. That's kind of awkward, but yeah. I mean, there wasn't anything wrong with just saying top of the 8th, just before the top of the 8th, to take down Barger for Straw. I mean, you have Straw, you have Lober Fido, also there too, because you took down Santander. IKF, I think he's just basically told to let Brash pitch himself into a corner. His first RBI of the postseason was in the 2nd inning. He usually doesn't play well much. IKF, oh, I don't think that's a good pitch to swing. Yep, bases left loaded. But the Jays do score a run. It could have been worse long ago. It's now 6-2. Yeah, the Mariners have 3 errors. Hoffman's coming up for the 8th. I don't know. Pitch him for the 9th at least. I don't know about that. Like, it does look a little awkward. Anyway, I gotta deafen for a little bit. I'll be back. Alrighty, so see what happens here. 1-0, and a strike to Raleigh as we go back to live action. Nathan Lucas moves to right field. Left field now goes to Straw because Barger's out of the game. Kind of a weird move, but what can you do? 6-2 Blue Jays. Raleigh phased it off with no 2 strikes. So let's see if we can get Raleigh for another time. Oh, I'm intrigued by Everett Scissorhands, but I also got to keep things going because I got to watch everything going. Pitch. Got him again. Man, Raleigh, I think that's a hat trick. Wave your hats. That's a hat trick. Man, keep Cal Raleigh at bay, we win. That's pretty much the modus operandi for Blue Jays. Now he's got the home run swing for 60 and 10. Okay, so those are up and away. Just going to take a look at my YouTube. Sunday Night Baseball. I need some more. How deep does this ocean go? Still just watching. Ooh, why did he go that inside on Polanco? Yeah, Niners winning 13-10. Close one. Yeah, Dave Garner's got some APA baseball up there. But because I do have to technically get to bed soon as possible. Okay. There might be a few things I might have to keep my... Yeah. Oops, that was not supposed to happen. I had the wrong button. And that's a foul. Yeah, 2-2, 1 out. So, yeah, I guess you need Hoffman there, but the question is, if you put him for too long, what if you need him for the 9th inning, game 7, and all that? Sometimes, you have to think about what you're thinking about. Chopper, foul ball. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, you got some. Yep, that's a foul. Nope, that was foul before Kirk touched it. So that means that's a ball. It is a ball. 2-2 pitch. Swings it, fouls it. Yeah, I mean, the question is, do you add another pitcher for the 9th for the Blue Jays in this game? I would. And then take Hoffman out, and then, it's all is what it is. So, anyway. Pitch. Get it go. There you go. Polanco's out this time. Swing and a miss. Yeah, I have to see what 5 points Fitz said. So apparently he said something bad at the end of his Giant Broncos stream and all that. Kind of have to watch that. Pop up, pop up, pop up. To the left. Nice. That's 3 outs. So Hoffman's done his job. Okay, I'm going to deafen for a little bit. All right, Jimenez, and that's gonna definitely be a touch by the left fielder as Arena. 1 down. Blue Jays up 6-2. 1 half inning away from a game 7. And my guess it'll be Bieber versus that Kirby, George Kirby. So it looks like Shane Bieber will face George Kirby, and then of course, I'd be like, did we make the right move getting Shane Bieber at the trade deadline? Sure. Oh, that's high, and he fumbled. That was definitely not on purpose. Yeah, the fans are throwing their arms up, but Springer reacted, and then he fumbled on his own accord. That definitely was not because of Farkas. He was trying to mumble out of the way, and he fell. I think that's basically them raising their arms, saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" Especially after what happened on Friday. Yeah, the Seattle fans were not really classy when Springer got hit on the knee and all that. Although they did win the game. I mean, a lot of people say karmic retribution might come tonight. And it's a strike, 1-1. So, yeah, the question on everyone's lips will be, what will be the Mariners and Blue Jays bullpen situations come tomorrow? Brandon Little probably will not pitch. Unless it's, like, needed. Personally, I'd be like, well, the only way Brandon Little's going to pitch is if it's a blowout. Either way. Like either for the offense or the defense. Like either the Blue Jays have a blowout or the other ringed. So you got to make some moves. 100 miles per hour, poof. And strike 3. Well, Springer just not having a good game, I guess. Honestly, I would have probably just taken Springer out in the 8th inning, put Lober Feidel in the DH. I mean, you're up by 4. So you don't need Springer in the field and all that. That Lucas now coming to the plate. After that first inning single, he's been nothing after that. But the guy, like Sportsnet touched up on it last game, is that he lasted 10 years in the minors, and finally he comes up to the majors. Ground ball to short. JP's going to have to hustle with the throw. No, sir. He beats it out. That's a single because he wants to mingle, and I don't think that Crawford had a chance. So that's going to be an infield single. That brings Flatty to the plate. Everyone wanted Flatty to do well. Everyone wanted Flatty to get the ball. And rumors were circulating that the Polar Bear, Pete Alonso, was coming to town if Guerrero couldn't come up with a contract. But we gave Guerrero the bag, and he has answered for us. 101, fly ball, foul. At least he got wood on it. So that's his 3rd home run in the ALCS. He's got 6 home runs in total. 3 against the Yankees. The first 3 games of the Yankee series, he had a home run in each. And then he had 3 home runs in this series. Vladdy decides to take a pitch, and Resurrena, I think, is spooked. Well, he's just like his dad. A wild, a off-the-plate hitter. That was way outside, and then he could take it, like Vladdy Sr. used to do. Yeah, shades of his dad doing that. So, yeah, the Blue Jays, well, that's why Flatty is just like father, like son. Here's Alejandro. Can he do something? He's been kind of Jekyll and hiding and all that. But, yeah, this will be nerve-wracking. I just wish that we were allowed to wear our Blue Jay stuff at work, but we're technically not. Foul ball. Like, well, I mean, I wear my Blue Jay hat to work and all that, but I don't wear it, well, on the floor and all that. Well, I actually work in the warehouse. I could wear a hat if I wanted to. But then again, I have to run to do carryouts and cart runs and all that, and you don't usually wear a hat when you do that. Kirk will pop up to right field. There'll be a catch. All right, bottom of the ninth, top of the ninth coming up. All the Blue Jays have to do is maybe give up 1-2 runs at worst, and we'll be going to game 9. Game 7. All right, inning 9. I need to deafen for a little bit. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so now we are in the ninth. May 10th, plan to go watch games with my friend and his son, and my son at a bar or restaurant on Monday. Wait a minute, you have a kid? I did not know that. Is he like at a bar or a restaurant? No. Simple question. Is your kid an adult? I guess so. Yeah, I think he's like 21, right? At least 21. But, I'm just saying, yeah. Cool, you have a kid. Congratulations. Salutations and congratulations. Sir Anthony is warming up in the bullpen for the Blue Jays, if need be, if Hoffman fumbles. 6-2 Blue Jays. I have 2 kids, both are grown up in their mid to late 20s. Ah, cool. Very good. Congratulations. So anyway, yeah, Hoffman on the mound. If he struggles, Sir Anthony is going to come out. Here's Azarena. And he'll take a strike. He's 2 for 3 today. His batting average in the postseason is now 186. That does not sound a Arozarena-like, because I know he's a better hitter than that. Too high, ball 1. Yep. Yeah. That's the good. See some 9th inning magic. You're not RJL. All that. There was no 9th inning magic today for RJL. Swing and a miss, strike 2. I mean, yeah. But don't forget that I will be pulling 7 cards and will be giving you the 7-card Monty before I end the stream and all that. And a swing and a miss. Goodbye. 3rd strikeout for Hoffman in his appearance. 6-2 Blue Jays, 1 out. Yeah, I've been so nervous. I haven't drank my Monster. I know. Yeah. I didn't even drink it for the first few innings because I'm like, do I touch it or not? Here's Suarez. Swing and a miss, strike 1. If it wasn't for Suarez, we would probably have been seeing the Blue Jays go back home, sweeping the Seattle games, and then winning Game 6. And then celebrations across Canada. Ball 1. We have a Game 7. My guess it'll be Bieber versus against Kirby. Well, that's what the rotation was, the 4-man rotation. Anyway, the 1-1 pitch. Spikes it, but it doesn't matter. No one's on base, so no harm, no foul. So, yeah, I'll give you 7 cards and then, whatever. I'm still debating now that, we're closer to Game 7. Do I show you all my cards left of the Topps Heritage 2025? Well, there will be 21 cards because it was 35 cards. I did 7 yesterday and 7 yesterday, my ass. 7 Friday and 7 today, so that's 21. Might give you the 21 card salute, no matter what happens, or I'll probably just save it for another stream or something. 2-2. Off the foot. Straight. We wish, but it's not. I was at a bar in 2015. Yeah, you can't really watch college football in a bar in Canada because there's not much interest. Of course, the Saturday night games are ruined by hockey being top of mind, or the Raptors, but not really the Raptors. So yeah, not a lot of Canadians take college football seriously. I mean, I do in a sense, which is weird because my disposition. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The feet cut out. Okay, there we go. We're fine. So 1 more strike and 1 more out, and guess what? We got a 7th coming up. And Toronto in 7th games are basically like peanut butter and squid. Not bad taste in your mouth. The last time a Toronto team won a Game 7, well, the last time they won a Game 7 was 2004. The Raptors won Game 7 against Philly in 2019, and that was the catalyst for them getting to the final, in a sense. Pitch. High and away, 2-0. It's not a safe situation for Sir Anthony if he has to come into the game. Hoffman did not come in a safe situation. Well, I think the rule is if he comes into a game up by 4, it has to be 3 innings before he's eligible for save. I've seen that in Out of the Park and all that. Geddy Lee from Rush in before the backstop. The legend. Geddy Lee. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Yeah, Geddy Lee and Rush. Limp Bizkit lost its bassist today. That's sad because, Limp Bizkit did, the Undertaker's song in the mid-2000s Rolling when Undertaker did the biker gimmick. That's way away, ball 3. Yeah, Fred Durst is the guy from Limp Bizkit, the singer. So, yeah. Lost a couple of sports people. Baseball player Jesus Montero died, former Mariner. Ball 4, that's a bit high. And we also lost Doug Martin, good running back from Boise State. He was drafted by Tampa Bay and had 6 good years with Tampa. There will be a tribute game to Doug Martin, not today, but tomorrow. The 2012 Bucks will host the 2012 Raiders in a tribute game because that's when Doug Martin had that 250-yard game to keep the Tampa record for most yards in a single game. Hoffman's getting some reinsurance because it's not a safe situation for Sir Anthony Dominguez. Sir Anthony does have World Series experience. Scherzer has World Series experience, of course. I wish Shane Bieber was part of the 2016 tribe, but he was not. I know that for a fact. Mariner fans looking sad. One looks like Jeff Ramsey from Achievement Hunter. Well, formerly from Achievement Hunter, now of Regulation Gameplay. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Stay in play. Stay. No, it's not. It's definitely not in play. Fook. So, yeah, the Blue Jays are up 6-2. Yeah, tomorrow we got a small truck coming in with bits and pieces. I have to clean up the front of the store, make it look beautiful. And all that outside, the garbages are going to be big because nobody does garbages normally at work on the weekend. It's usually my job. 0-1 pitch. That's way away. Thank goodness for the catch by Kirk because the runner was on. Oh, it's got to second on, I guess, defensive indifference unless they saw that coming, but Hoffman threw it way high. So runner on second. So kind of is a safe situation. But, Ken Zone's not really hitting much in the postseason, so you can probably calm down. Strike 2, that is a foul. So the runner can't move to third. So now 1 strike away from a Game 7. This will be huge in Toronto land and all that. The 1-2. A looper. That's going to stay in the infield. Caught. Blue Jays victory time. We have a Game 7 on our hands. Wow. Whoa, wow. Woo. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Well, the Mariners gave it all they got. Hey, if it wasn't for Suarez, the Blue Jays would have won in 6 games, but it's not. We have a Game 7, Bieber versus Kirby. Game 7 home team has lost 7 of the last 8 games. Yep. Game 7 home team has lost 7 of the last 8. That's right. Well, I know for a fact. Does that include the 2016 Indians? Because I know 2016 was when Cleveland lost Game 7 on home turf to the Cubs. I don't know if that's the bed and strip. But anyway, guys, this is not the end of the stream. I've got 7 cards to show you. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, green base card. 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it's time to do the lucky 7 card, the 7 card Monty. Put the other cards away. All right. Yeah, I don't know if that counts 2016 because I don't know many Game 7s and all that. But I do know that Houston lost Game 7 of the World Series on home turf in 2019 to Washington. All right, so here's your 7 card pickup. First off is the home run leaders with Shohei Ohtani-san up there with 54, but that's National League home run leaders. Because obviously I don't think Ohtani was the Major League leader last year. Home runs, and they give it from 1974 onwards for the home run leaders of the National League and all that. How many Expos have done it? Well, I'm a Montreal Expos guy. I think it's never been done by an Expo. Nope. No Montreal Expos ever won it. Well, as Montreal. Bryce Harper did in 2015. Cool card. Damn. Lots of top heritage. Nah. Well, if you like it, I'll keep it. Okay, well, next up is Nacho Libre. Nacho Alvarez Jr. for the Braves. What a weird name and all that. Yeah, first name is you're named after a food. But yeah, Nacho Alvarez Jr. All right. That is a weird name, but whatever. Next is a green bordered card, I think, of a prospect. That's Jacob Wilson of the A's. I think Jacob Wilson played for the A's and did decently. Yeah. Yeah, so this has been 28 games. It says his first walk-off hit was the first ever walk-off hit, the last walk-off hit for the A's when they're in Oakland. Now they're called the A's. Can't you just call them the Sacramento A's and all that? I know you have played Sacramento for a few years. What's wrong with that? I mean, Sacramento would love to have their city name attached to the team. Yeah, I think Jacob Wilson's a pretty good player. Could either be 1 or 2 Rookie of the Year voting. Is that is that Athletics catcher actually eligible Rookie of the Year? That guy who had that 4-homer game? I don't think he is, but yeah. All right, next is Lane Thomas. Hey, Cleveland baseball fan. This was random. There's a Cleveland player, Lane Thomas. So yeah, Lane Thomas coming at you for Cleveland. He was a Cardinal and a National. I didn't know that before we went into Cleveland. Yeah, I traded for him the 2 biggest hits of the ALDS. That's the series against Detroit that got them to the LCS versus those pesky Yankees. Lane Thomas was awful and hurt in 2025. I think he wasn't he? Like, terrible? Anyway, next up, card number 5 is... Yeah, card number 5 is Francisco Lindor, former Cleveland Guardian, and all that. Before he went to the Mets in a major move, and the Mets... Some say Lindor is an MVP candidate. I don't think so, but yeah, Lindor and all that. So, yep. So you should have the Mets deep postseason run. That's right. Because 2024 was the day that they had to extend the regular season by 1 day because of a rainout. And the Mets and Braves had to play a double dip in which, it depended on how, I think if it was a split, then the Diamondbacks were screwed out of the playoffs, if memory serves me right. Yeah. Francisco Lindor, yeah, great player, all that. So we got that. 2 more cards. Next card is a Ray. Hunter Beachy? RC for rookie card, but Hunter Big. All right. Do we need to know about Hunter? No. And finally is a Diamondback, Yelber Diaz, and all that. I think that's a rookie. It's an RC. Yeah, RC. That means rookie card. Oh, Yelber Diaz. I kind of like how they put RC on the cards now. Rookie cards. Okay, so very much. I technically should be finishing my Monster before going to bed and all that because, I'm not going to leave a flat can of Monster out there. All right, there. All right. All right, me buckles. So game 7 will be tomorrow night, 8 Eastern time. There will be a stream, obviously. So I'd like to thank Cleat Baseball Fan and World's Worst Gamer for joining me, and hopefully they'll join me tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 8 o'clock. And hopefully the Blue Jays win Game 7 and do something that Toronto can't do and win Game 7. They better win. Blue Jays win, we get home field in the World Series starting Friday. If the Mariners win, they have to travel to Los Angeles. Either way, the U.S. TV ratings will be horrible. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.